On July 4th, 1776, the United States declared independence from Great Britain. And this July 4th, we're going to be celebrating it with swimming pools, barbecues, and day drinking. But what about Canada? Perhaps some of you are wondering when our northern neighbors became independent. Stick around, and I'll tell you.
Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada, da, da. Da, da.
Canada became part of the British Empire in 1763, 12 years before the Revolutionary War. But when America declared independence, why didn't Canada? Because at that point in time, it was pretty much just full of French fur trappers.
I don't trap beaver, I entice it.
After the Revolutionary War, there were a bunch of people in America who still wanted to be part of Great Britain, so they moved up to Canada. The Brits called them United Empire Loyalists. We called them Mama's Boys. They liked not running their own country. So most Canadians had no interest in being independent, except the French speakers in Quebec.
Yes,
they were still annoyed that the English people were in charge of everything. And the poor English speakers in Ontario, they were pissed off that only rich guys were in charge. This resulted in a lot of guys getting drunk at bars and then rioting. So an alcoholic lawyer named John A. Macdonald got a bunch of guys from the parliaments of the different provinces together and said, hey, let's get together, form one big parliament, and unite all Canada. After many, many glasses of gin, the other guys agreed, and on July 1st, 1867, Canada was confederated.
Confederated, uniting several governments under a loose central authority. See also the form of government supported by the Dukes of Hazzard's car.
So that's Independence Day, right?
Right.
No. They still had no foreign policy, no right to amend their constitution, no flag.
Ugh.
In 1956, Canada disobeyed England for the first time ever.
What?
The UK and France were fighting with Egypt over control of the Suez Canal. Canada sent troops in to enforce a ceasefire. That pissed the Queen off hard.
You ungrateful, shit-eating, smelly, backwater, heads!
The Suez Crisis of 1956, while a good guess, is also not the day Canada declared independence. In 1964, Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson, Canada's unsexy John F. Kennedy, realized the French kept getting pissed off and trying to declare independence.
Bang.
Lester suggested Canada get a flag that it wasn't sharing with its mom. Most Canadians went apeshit and spent over a year arguing about whether the 8th largest economy on the planet should have its own flag. Eventually, finally, they picked a leaf. I know what you're thinking. The Great Flag Debate of 1964 must be the year that Canada gained its independence.
Right?
No. French Canada was still fighting to either get some respect or go its own way. So Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, Canada's sexy Jimmy Carter, realized the only way to hold his country together was to have control of their own constitution. In 1982, he passed the Constitution Act, which meant that Canada was in charge of Canada. They might put the Queen on their money, but in their hearts, they knew their true leader was a beer-swilling bilingual beaver covered in maple syrup. So when did Canada become independent? The answer is very slowly, over the course of 115 years. And as your American heart starts to laugh at them for being dependent mama's boys, please remember the way they did it meant no one got shot, everyone got listened to, and they get to have a beaver on their money. So who's the real winner?
The beavers.
Viva les beavers!